Hello everybody and welcome back to the WTF1 podcast. We are here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku. Wow, it feels like a long time since I've looked over and seen Jess and Tommy here for the WTF1 podcast. How are we both?
Good. First time this year.
Is it first time this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
It has been a long time.
Do you want to do the I'm Matt?
I'm Jess.
And I'm Tommy.
Nice.
Oh my
God, that's like a throwback, isn't it?
Throwback.
It's unbelievable. Let's talk about the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I don't think this will be a very long podcast, will it? After the last 2 years being absolutely manic, this year a bit more relaxed.
Well, there was still mayhem.
Yeah.
There was
Just
still
strategical
chaos.
It was a
Nice.
weekend of mayhem. Just the 2 hours on the Sunday wasn't as mayhem as normal.
Yeah, it was the best free
Yeah.
practice sessions and qualifying of the year.
Yeah.
Probably ever.
Ever. Yeah.
There was a lot of red flags. Let's get into the 3-word race reviews from fans about the race. This one's good. Emily Brownsy, kiss my Bottas. I'm not gonna call it Bottas. I'm sorry, Bottas. Menzahi79, Bottas porridge win. And finally, Luke.ant.lee, porridge power boss. So a lot of Bottas related 3-word race reviews,
porridge.
which I'm sure makes you very happy, Jess.
Yeah.
To see Bottas on the top step of the podium. But Tommy says, for your 3-word race review...
I don't have the sheet.
I don't have the sheet. That's 5 words. Hamilton's not bothered.
Hamilton isn't bothered. Hamilton's not bothered. That was it. Hamilton's not bothered.
Why did you choose that?
Well, because you can tell, and we spoke about it when
I was going to say, why did you say this? I know exactly why you said it. But
we were speaking
explain
about
anyway.
it when we were watching the race, that how different Hamilton's body language is when he loses a race to Vettel, and even when he finished second to Rosberg, he was absolutely livid with himself. He was so grumpy and all this kind of stuff. And this race again, because Bottas is leading the championship still after 4 rounds. Yeah, it's only a very small margin, but he's not. It's just weird that Hamilton seems to just not care. He just assumes that Bottas is not going to be in the title fight, and he's just not bothered.
He's very relaxed, isn't he?
Yeah.
And this is the conversation we had. It was, you do see this kind of other side to Hamilton when he loses to potentially a driver that he feels could take him all the way. Whereas, yeah, it does seem like Hamilton doesn't respect Bottas in a way in which, okay, I could actually lose to my teammate here. Obviously, yeah, Bottas is leading the championship by 1 point, but we're 4 races in, and as Jess, I think you've said before in podcasts, Hamilton doesn't turn up till mid-season.
Yeah.
If this isn't him turning up, then Bottas has a lot of work to do to really kind of continue that title fight, right?
I think, I definitely agree. I think, as much as everyone and everybody here thinks I'm a Bottas hater, it's
just Bottas basher, better.
Bottas
alliteration.
basher, right? But even then, I think that's unfair because I'm not sure people are listening to what I'm saying. He is in the best car on the grid, right? Well, arguably Ferrari.
Actually,
Maybe Ferrari has a better car.
All right, Hamilton.
Right? But
that's what I was doing.
it's all about the potential to win, and everybody has been pointing out, well, actually, there's only 1 point in it, and Hamilton is probably the best driver of this generation, and he's won an equal amount of races and blah blah blah. But good, he should have been doing that from day one.
Should have been doing that last year, right?
Exactly. So it's a case of, as I said before, in Australia, once everyone was on the Bottas hype train. I'm really pleased for him. I think he drove a good race. It's not. I don't want to be negative about Bottas. I want to be positive about Bottas. But his previous track record for me just hasn't. He's not proved to me that he is deserving of being in that seat. Today he didn't put a foot wrong. And again, as I said in Australia, good for him. And he is. Again, we're going to probably get into this a little later, but he should probably be driver of the day because he didn't do anything wrong. He played it very smoothly, cool head, even when he had Hamilton pushing on him.
I think that's part of the thing as well of Hamilton's body language, not just his body language, but also on track. Are you telling me that if that was Rosberg, Hamilton wouldn't have sent it down the inside because he knows he has to get every single point he possibly can in a situation like that?
That's where I guess their relationship is at the moment as well. I can't really remember Hamilton and Rosberg right when they first became teammates, but that they weren't challenging for titles straight away when they were teammates, were they? Whereas, with Hamilton and Bottas, they haven't had that collision. They haven't had that that moment to be like, all right, that's how you want to play it, sort of thing.
So I think what I was going to go on to say is exactly that. I think if this continues, we'll probably see that change.
Yeah,
I think if we get
absolutely,
later into the season and Bottas wins more races, which he ought to, then especially if Ferrari aren't going to turn up, then that we might see that change. That dynamic changed with Rosberg, as you just pointed out. Like it switched once they started to become rivals on an equal playing field. Then Hamilton will get frustrated by you. But right now he's just cruising. I mean, the only point difference is that fastest lap that Bottas got in Australia. So that's nothing.
Yeah, the fastest lap thing is really weird because we were chatting about it again in the race. Like, imagine if Hamilton and Bottas are like keep getting 1-2s, trading 1-2s. Like, someone getting fastest lap is literally like deciding who's leading the championship.
Yeah,
now,
if someone can
crazy.
take it away from either of the Mercedes boys, and they level the playing field essentially, which is I mean, cool. It makes me like that new rule even more. Yeah,
it's a bit random. I'm still hit and miss with it. I think it has the potential to come a bit farcical because I think Leclerc showed it. It was quite exciting in Australia because no one pitted, so everyone was going quite quick.
That's it. Yeah.
But my concern is that, without going too off topic, my concern is that the person in sixth or whoever's in the lowest of the top team will have such an advantage to the midfield teams that it's just have an extra point.
Yeah.
Come into the pits and get an extra point.
Yeah.
So,
and I completely agree. You know, the Australia was awesome because everyone was within sort of fighting distance and they didn't want to pit. They weren't going to have that ridiculous advantage, and they're all going, shall I go out? Shall I go and get the fast lap? Shall I? You know, they're all pushing. Whereas, as you say, you know, Charles had 30 seconds after already pitting to Perez behind, I think it was, or whoever it was. So, you know, it can become farcical, and I think that's not really what we want to see. So maybe there's a tweak to the rule that maybe will happen at some point. But let's kind of round up that Bottas chat then with a fan question by official Susk. Can Bottas win the World Championship?
No.
See, the funny thing is that he has every opportunity to do so, yes. It's whether he can step it up and level up and be good enough to beat Hamilton. I've got like this funny feeling of 2016 again. Like, it could be another Rosberg win.
My only thinking was, the same as you with 2016, that like, if this goes on and on where Bottas is picking up like first and second, one Hamilton DNF, an unlucky engine failure like a Malaysia 2016, Bottas gets 25 points in the bag and he's suddenly got a 25-point championship lead. Yeah. And again, like, if Mercedes keep getting 1-2s and Vettel's out of it, there's nothing to stop Mercedes saying, Bottas, get out of the way.
I mean, who'd have thought, after all, and again, we always say this, like, you can't listen to testing to really get a true sense of how the season's going to pan out. But who'd have thought we'd be here on the fourth Mercedes 1-2? They're the most successful. It's the most successful start to a season by any team ever. And I don't even see the last two seasons, including this one. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, as like a particularly dominant Mercedes season.
Not like they were in 2014 to 2016, where they literally turned up and would get a 1-2 every weekend, unless something horrendous happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just blows my mind, and I think it's gonna potentially lead into maybe your 3-word race review, Matt, which is just that, where the hell are Ferrari?
Yeah, let's skip on to mine. I was going to go into yours, but let's go to mine because, where the hell are Ferrari? My 3-word race review was red, not yellow, which was talking about the strategy call from Ferrari, not even in the race, but before the race even begun, from Friday practice. Obviously, they had a bit of limited running, well, no running in FP1 pretty much, because of George Russell's incident with the drain cover. But from what they've done in FP2 and FP3, obviously it was chaotic in FP2 as well, they've decided that Charles should qualify, do Q2 on the mediums and start the race on those yellow-walled tyres, which obviously, looking into the race, wasn't the right decision. We're looking 20 laps in and we're like, hello, this could really work for him. But it just turns out that those yellow striped tyres were so much better. So for me, it just doesn't make any sense for... Obviously, I'm just a backseat Formula 1 fan. But when you look at Azerbaijan as a track, you don't want to be on the prime, sort of more durable tyre at the start of a race when things could happen. Obviously, nothing did. But Charles would have been even more screwed had a safety car come out in the first 10, 15 laps. Everyone would have pitted for fresh tyres. He wouldn't have really been anywhere. I mean, it did become a 2-stop race, but then Ferrari thought it was going to be a 1-stop. Everyone thought it was going to be a 1-stop. So for me, it just doesn't make much sense as to what they were trying to do with Charles.
Are we ever going to get a race this year where the podcast, we're not questioning what Ferrari strategy are doing? It's just so many strategy calls and like when are they ever going to pay off? Like when is it ever going to pay off for them? Because it just seems at the moment like Mercedes are just doing everything right. Like look at qualifying. They dummied Vettel in the and it worked perfectly. It worked perfectly for Mercedes. And then not only that, you've got the mind games of Hamilton and Bottas in the press conference going, we played you, basically. We completely dummied you. And, you know, that's bringing Ferrari's morale even further down, no doubt. It's just nothing is going right for them, really.
It's not. Sigma1239 says, when is it time to say that Ferrari do not have the best car anymore and are just playing second fiddle to Mercedes like in 2015 to 2017?
I don't think that's a fair comment, actually.
Yeah, I don't think Ferrari are.
I think, again, it's that whole, like, potential and realising the potential. Sorry if you can hear a bunch of, like, whirring and alarms. We are literally sat on the track as it's being dismantled.
It's literally the straight right there. The start-finish line's over there.
Right behind us.
Crazy.
So, apologies if you can hear that.
We're stuck in the middle of F1. What you going to do?
I know, yeah. There are worse places to be, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ferrari, their straight line speed today was still like very visible. They had some unbelievable speed, and it's just about being able to have a clean weekend and to not make those random strategy calls, or to not have Vettel spin, or to not have Charles smash into the wall. Like it's there just seems to be a bunch of things that have cropped up that has meant that they've had to make strange strategy calls that haven't played into their hands at all. Or if it's, you know, like we were saying that we thought team orders were going to start being applied because Vettel was so far off the pace of the Mercedes and Leclerc looked quick. But they negated that by bringing in a pit stop and essentially swapping the cars. But, you know, we had, again, like semi-team orders there. I think they just did that to alleviate the need to make team orders. But, I mean, maybe that's unfair because the pit stops were kind of on the cards then anyway. But, yeah, they just need a clean weekend. Massively. Yeah,
it's you think that last year can't go, like, it can't be any worse this year, and it's already gone, because it was towards the end of last season, wasn't it, that where it all went wrong?
Yeah, we get to like the summer break and it's like Hamilton and Vettel on equal points, or, you know, and Ferrari have had a really, really quick car, but if you're getting at the end of the season and what a Mercedes had 76
points or something, 74,
it's crazy
76
nearly
points.
how far they're running away now.
Full race victories ahead
after 4 races. I mean, that's wrapped up in my opinion.
Yeah,
I can't see.
I literally cannot see.
They need both Mercedes to DNF.
Yeah,
which doesn't happen very often.
You're not going to get Spain. Was it 2016? Was it 2016?
Yeah. When they took each other out.
Yeah, Hamilton.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be
Spain
the
next,
point.
Maybe.
When was it? Was it last year? Where did they both DNF last year?
Austria.
That was it.
Yeah. An anomaly. Don't think
that's not very common at all.
30 years.
But then every time they DNF, Max wins. So
you're hoping for that.
Yeah. Ferrari don't win.
And finally on Ferrari, where was Vettel? Where was he?
Where was he?
It was weird. I found it quite strange because it was almost like, you know, at one point Hamilton was catching Bottas and I'm like, okay, battle for the lead. Then Hamilton just drops back 3 seconds. Vettel then starts catching Hamilton. He's a second behind. I'm like, oh, okay. And it just was toing and froing. It was almost like, you know, they were getting to a stage of overheating and then having to back off again. But it just seemed like Vettel was there, but
I think they were all hoping for a safety car as well.
Yeah.
Like you kept hearing.
I think everyone was.
Because it's Baku and usually there's a safety car or 10. They were all banking on having the safety car window to change tyres or to change strategy.
Yeah.
So, but that clearly wasn't coming. I mean, even when we did have an on-track incident, it was a virtual safety car, which doesn't neutralise the race like a full safety car does. So,
and actually, it really broke. It actually separated the cars out even more.
Yeah, exactly.
It made the gaps significant, and kind of ruined any kind of battle between Vettel, Verstappen, even though they had a unlikely chance. But, you know, if it had gone full safety car, you'd have had slipstream City, which I think the thing that made Baku so good is the safety car restarts.
Yeah, we saw that in F2.
Everything.
Amazing.
The safety car restarts are unbelievable. And unfortunately, it was a similar last year where there wasn't a lot of action, but until the first safety car, it went absolutely crazy. It's almost like if there isn't that safety car restart,
everyone just spreads out.
It just kind of spreads out a little bit. And yeah, it just unfortunately it just didn't happen this year.
Baku needs a safety car. 3-word race review, Jess.
No safety car?
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums
it
really?
up. Yeah, it was just, I think we were all, especially after the absolute mayhem of free practice and qualifying, we were just expecting a crazy race. But, you know, a lot of people were saying actually that 2016 had the same thing where free practice and quali was crazy, and then the race, everyone was super cautious. So you didn't have safety cars or incidences. So
never seen so many crashes in free practice and qualifying, and then just such a cautious race. There was no real kind of apart from there was one major incident with Ricciardo and Kvyat, but in terms of safety car,
he didn't actually crash. He just reversed into him.
Although when
that was weird.
When Gasly went out, it was literally like, "Don't go down a runoff. Can you just park it in the middle of the track?"
Jess was literally pleading, "Stop!
Stop now!
Stop now!
Stop now!"
If you could stop on the apex,
yes, please.
That would be great.
That's a safe place.
Yeah,
that's a safe place. And we were all praying for that, weren't we?
Yeah.
But no, he found a beautiful bit of runoff and parked the car way off track. Come on, Pierre.
Yeah, do it for Max. He could have won then, wouldn't he? You know, do it for Red Bull.
That should have been our 3-word race view. Come on, Pierre.
Some other 3-word race reviews about the race in general was Jack Aitken, the winner of the feature race and third place in the sprint. Maybe watch F2.
I mean, that both of those races were
unbelievable.
Savage. They were just incredible. Which again, like we've said it before, it's not the circuit's fault. In some cases, it's not the circuit's fault for bad racing, because those F2 races were just insane.
Yeah.
You know, pile-ups and like dive bombs and
safety car restarts. Many safety car restarts.
That sprint race, we all held our breath at that last lap shootout after the safety car came in, because it was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And about the safety car restarts, you know, we were speaking to one of the F2 drivers who was saying that, you know, we would have like 200-degree brake temperatures and you need 600, you know, and that's why there were so many going off at turn 3 after that, probably the fourth safety car restart or whatever it was. And, you know, that's just, I mean, obviously we have F2 drivers that want to make a point as well. So add that into the mix and you've got Dive Bomb City, you know, you've got Daniel Ricciardo's, which we'll get onto him, you know, all up and down the grid. So it's, definitely watch F2. If you don't watch F2, watch it, because it's great.
It is great.
Week in, week out.
And I think having a lot of the F2 rookies in Formula 1, Formula 1 rookies that have come in from F2, you can see more. I just feel like I really like the way that Formula 1 is kind of not that it wasn't embracing Formula 2 before, but it's a definite feeder series now. And I think, you know, Alex, Lando and George have just been such good ambassadors, even though they've left F2 now. I just feel like there's been even more of a connection as a feeder series into F1 than maybe has been previously. It definitely media coverage.
It does good things for F2 as well.
Massively.
That the top 3 in the championship have all gone into F1, and it's going to make people go, "Oh right, you know, these are the next champions." Whereas you've had years in the past where, you know, Giovinazzi and Gasly are I'm not going to say Giovinazzi. No, sorry.
Cue angry comments.
Yeah, I'm not. But they're going for the title and didn't make it to F1, and you go, well, what's the point? Valsecchi didn't.
Yeah, poor Davide. Saw him in the paddock. Lovely guy. You met him as well, didn't you?
Yeah, he's lovely. He thought I was your girlfriend.
Yeah, and then I was like, I thought he said friends. I was like, yeah. I was like, no, Davide, come on. And he was like, oh, what a shame. Great guy. Love him so much. Mark ______ 16 came in with another 3-word race review. Tense, not chaos. Which I think sums it up beautifully.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it a boring race. I know a lot of people have been very quick on social media to go, wow, Baku, you know, what's happened? Boring again, just like 2016. But for me, I found it really interesting. You had Charles out in front. You didn't know how his tyres were going to be. You thought, okay, you know, you had Karun Chandok saying, oh, you know, he's going to go onto the softs, and because it's more rubbered in, it'll be fine, and he'll be one to watch. Obviously, that didn't turn out to be the case. But I just found the whole thing very interesting. They, you know, the top 3, top 4, even Max brought himself back into play. Just one incident could have exploded that entire race, couldn't it?
The only thing I felt it was missing was the usual, and I don't know if it's just because it wasn't massively televised or what, but I didn't see much of the midfield battle that usually provides. If the front starts getting boring, at least you've got like a mix of things.
I felt like that happened in China as well.
Yeah.
And I saw someone, I can't remember who tweeted it, but they were like, the commentators are saying that 10th to 17th, they're only separated all by about half a second, yet you're watching Hamilton,
all of them separated by half a second.
Sorry,
7 wide going down
straight. No, but like, do you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like, really close.
That could happen.
I'd love to see that.
If only that did happen.
I know.
But yeah, Bottas, Hamilton, and Vettel, you're just watching them like 5 seconds of time, just doing lap after lap.
I think
and it's like, come on.
That's what made last year's race so special. I remember being more interested in the midfield, and you know the classic scene of like a strip. I've lost words because it's late at night and we've been working this entire weekend. Slipstream train of like 5 cars. I almost said split screen. I was like,
we're not playing games.
And then the, you know, that amazing shot of them like just all going like
safety
straight
car.
Safety car,
across.
thank you, safety car.
And it's just like, it's just phenomenal to see. Like this straight
It's
is
amazing.
one of the best parts of racetrack, I think, that you can get. It's just a shame that for one reason or another there was just not a lot of that.
I actually spoke to Dan after the race because I wanted to get an idea of what he thought, because obviously
Dan Thorne, WTF1 editor, you've seen him on the podcast before.
We're at the race, and let's be honest, we've had an absolutely incredible week here, like enjoying it. So I kind of wanted to know if I was maybe being too easy on the race, and it was absolutely terrible, and just because we're here we're like, oh, it's great. But Dan had the same opinion, that it was almost like that would have been fairly decent race, not amazing. I'm not going to pretend it would have been amazing, but like, you know, decent race. Like there's a lot. How often do you get the last 2 laps where 2 cars are battling out for the win, and it got very tense at the end?
It did. Till Hamilton bottled it. Yeah,
but it's Baku, and almost because of how absolutely insane the last 2 years have been, everyone just expects absolute chaos. I mean,
I'm just going to cut in right now with the fan question, just so that I don't miss them out. At We Stand to Fight, do you think the weekend blew its drama and excitement load too early?
Yeah. What a question.
What a phrase. Love the phrasing of that one, We Stand to Fight.
I think I agree with Tommy. I think we've just come to expect so much from this circuit and this race that, you know, it's almost like I was almost going to say that one of their taglines is expect the unexpected. Well, this was unexpected because we expected chaos. So technically they delivered on that promise. But it is, I think it is just, it's just bonkers, but in the best way possible. Like that castle section is just crazy and provides so much, like, not in the race, unfortunately. Fortunately, because people didn't crash there. But I think it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Blew their load too early.
Oh God. Jesus.
No, but I agree with, you know, it was always going to happen that this racetrack has had 2 unbelievable races here. It was always going to happen. Like, even if this was an amazing race, the next year,
it might be, and then
we're always going to expect not unexpected. We're always going to expect amazing races here, and then when it doesn't happen, it's Formula One. That's just how it works. You know, you could have 2 of the best football teams playing each other. Could be the most boring 0-0 ever. It's just how it happens. So.
Why is it that we always compare F1 to football?
Because it's just the most generic.
It's just so mainstream.
Yeah, you know, just trying to. You know, I mean, horse racing. You could have 2 odds-on favourite
jockeys going
horses jumping
victory.
fences. Cool. Right, moving on.
That's why then.
Yeah.
Because no one knows anything about horse racing.
Love horses. Right. Okay. So let's
love
talk
horses.
about.
We're so delirious.
Yeah, we're so tired. Honestly, it's a joke. Right, Sergio Perez, epic race.
Yeah.
What a
start.
this man. I mean, I spoke to him briefly at the autograph session, and I was like, Sergio, you're a sensation around here. Why do you think? And I've forgotten his answer, but he's just amazing around here, isn't he? He just gets it. For some reason, he just puts that Force India so high up the grid.
What now?
Force India from last year, Sport pays a Racing Point Formula 1 team. I've called that so many times today. It's a joke. That's how tired I am.
Did you have to announce them as that at the autograph session?
And I read the back of their jackets. So I was literally stood behind one of the members and I was like, Sport pays a Racing Point Formula 1 team, then just moved away. Yes, the Sport pays a Racing Point team.
I heard you chanting it to yourself as well, like before. Sport pays a Racing Point Formula 1 team.
Even you struggled then. It's like
it's a bit of a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
Yeah.
But
they've been that for so long, you just...
Yeah, it's just an adjustment phase, isn't it? We're only 4 races in. But Perez started 5th and finished in the top 6.
He's unbelievable, like as if he's got 2 podiums in a midfield team.
So we're filming here in Azerbaijan in just some random room looking out at the track, and just someone walked in. Carrying on, Tommy! You don't know what you're saying. Perez finished in the top 6.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Don't even know.
So
what
he
to
put
do.
himself very high up in qualifying.
Yeah,
didn't
amazing
he
qualifying
was
as well.
Unbelievable. He was quite a way ahead of anyone else.
5th in quali.
And you know, the gap between the top teams and the 3 top teams, Jess has absolutely lost her mind now. But Perez, why is he so good round here?
I don't know.
Let's ask this man.
Tommy, can you just say your point? Because I'm trying to tee you up here, and you're just giving me nothing.
What's my point?
I don't know.
Perez is just awesome around this track. It's obviously really well suited to him, and yeah, what an awesome performance to finish ahead of all the midfield and get close as possible to Ferrari and Charles Leclerc.
This is delirious WTF1 podcast coming right at you. Let's talk quickly about Lance Stroll as well, because his team.
He did all right.
He started 17th.
He got a good start, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't actually see his start, but he finished 9th, which is again a pretty good result for him.
Top 10 finish.
Yeah. That's correct.
In the points.
Finished 9th. Yes, that's a top 10 finish.
I'm just making sure I can count still.
I feel like Sport Pacer Racing Point has got into our heads. Let's move on to Williams' awful weekend. Let's bring the tone down to a somber one.
Yeah.
So let's start George Russell Drain and Crane Gate in FP1.
Yeah. Can I just say that back to safety car point, how would anyone have imagined there'd be no safety car when literally seconds into FP1 you had George Russell running over a drain.
Well, technically Charles
Leclerc hitting a drain, then George Russell hitting the drain, then George Russell getting on the back of the truck, then the truck crashing into the bridge, then the hydraulics spilling over,
the car.
And then they took the crane off the truck because they were worried it was going to hit the bridge again, and then realised they couldn't recover another car. Yeah.
Memes. Cool. But not only was George Russell, not being able to get his car back to the pits, one of the issues, you had Kubica crashing in quali.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much I can say about that, really.
It's just woeful, isn't it?
F1 did a really cool social cut of how much Baku costs
them,
teams when they crash. And it was from last year, so it wasn't anything from this year, but it was just like the damage. I don't think any team expects the damage that drain cover caused to George's car.
It just rips the underbelly of the car out, doesn't it?
It completely destroyed the floor. Like, see you later. That's not getting fixed overnight.
And George Russell's bum hurt as well.
Well, yeah.
He missed the press conference because he had a dodgy tummy.
No, he actually
or a broken bottom.
It was a respiratory infection.
Oh, okay.
I saw something about baked beans.
No, he's never eaten baked beans before. Apparently.
Wow. Okay. Kubica went to the pit lane 9 minutes early as well.
Today.
I mean, what? To be fair, I never knew of this rule, and Williams apparently didn't know of this rule either.
Yeah.
They were like, huh?
So it's new for this year.
Oh my God. there's so many rules.
What advantage are you going to get?
I don't understand.
Surely
I don't
it's
understand
less of
that
an
rule.
advantage.
That's an FIA rule. That's like, why is that there?
Yeah.
What's the point?
What is the point? And
I guess it's to stop people like literally turning up on like Thursday and parking your car at the end of the pits and being like, right, I'm ready.
I don't think they're going to do that somehow.
Literally, Kubica is in the car from like 11 a.m. this morning, like, I'm ready. Screw you, F2. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Just
it was a weekend from hell for Williams, wasn't it?
It's
couldn't
just
have
like,
gone any
when is their bad luck streak gonna end? Because I don't know how much more a team can take. You know,
they got a podium here 2 years ago. That feels like forever ago. Like they're not even close to finishing ahead of any of the midfield, never mind getting a point.
Did either of you see that meme they made of George Russell looking under the car and then just having the classification and then Kubica on the other side pointing, and it's just
yeah, they're
it's
just
starting to make me sad now though.
Yeah.
Like it was a bit, a bit of a good joke or whatever before, but now I'm just like, I don't. And I think the other thing as well is that they and this is going to sound weird, but I do think that they're wearing it with grace, like they're not. Like when you interviewed Claire Williams on the track walk and
pit lane walk.
Pit lane walk and
track walk. Did I?
Yeah, on the track walk with Williams.
Yeah.
No, on the pit lane walk. Sorry, and even she was saying then, it's not like they're skirting around it. She said like we've had a bad start to the year. We want some positivity out of this weekend, and then FP1 happened, and it's just, and then Kubica crashed, and it's like how much more can keep coming at this team,
and the funding as well. Like how many times can they finish last until they literally can't afford to be in F1 anymore? I know they get heritage payments, which obviously help, but at the end of the day, like they still got to pay the bills.
Just really unlucky. Like out of all the teams that could get obliterated by a drain cover, it's the one that are most struggling with money, spare parts.
I mean,
that's
how
exactly
lucky
what
was?
I mean, they were lucky they had a spare car for George, but
and how lucky was Charles as well? Like just running over it. Although to be fair, if he'd done that, he may not have crashed in qualifying. Who knows? Well, that's another dimension. Let's move on to a fan question about Williams.
What do you think's going on in another dimension right now?
Charles winning. Will Kubica?
Of course, you would say that.
At Tricky Mario 7654, will Kubica step down before the end of the season? I don't think he'll step down before the end of the season.
No.
I think he'll step down at the end of the season.
I don't know. It'd be really sad, wouldn't it? Because however much it's terrible, it should have been such a good feel-good story that he's back.
But it's sympathy.
But it's just,
if anything,
so bad that you don't get any of that kind of feel-good. Like, it's amazing what he's doing. He's back. He was such a good driver. Yeah. Like, he's not going to get a point or anything, is he? Let's be honest. Like,
but he has shown at the same time, if you kind of look towards maybe Bahrain and maybe even China as well, he is on the same pace as George Russell in many regards. Like, he has the pace somehow. I literally don't know how he drives that car with his injury. It's unbelievable. When you see it in the flesh, you're like, huh? You drive Formula 1 cars. It's unbelievable what he's managing to do. I kind of want to reserve judgment until the end of the season because I feel like he still has it. Yeah. And I'd love to see like what he'd be able to do, obviously, if he hadn't taken all that time out in Formula 1, but he's still got it. Like, it's not like he's a second off George, and George is a talented driver.
I think you're right. So, it's unbelievable how he can be anywhere near with the injury that he's got.
Yeah,
like,
it's
it's
unbelievable. Anyway, Robert Kubica, I hope you do well. I don't know if he's listening. Right, let's move on to some more positive things, and that means it's time for ABCDEF1.
I had to do that on the last podcast, and I couldn't.
My
I did it.
Body just shivers. Right, okay. Let's start. Let's go backwards.
Ooh.
Let's start with Williams, as we were just talking about them. Let's rate George Russell. Literally don't know where he finished. 16th or 17th. Did he beat Kubica? Yes.
Yes.
No. Don't know. I'm going to check.
The race order.
I literally did race rundown about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Maybe not an hour ago. 2 hours ago. I've knocked my mic. He finished 15th, ahead of Kubica, 2 laps down, 2 pit stops, and Kubica had 3. B, because he beat Kubica.
He's just going to get a B every time until he loses to
Kubica.
Yeah.
Okay, Russell, B. Kubica, C, because he didn't beat Russell. Cool. Yeah. Right, now on to the actual teams that fought people. Toro Rosso, Daniel Kvyat. Oh, that's a D from me.
A D?
Really? I think that's harsh.
Fam, did you see how far he dropped down at the start of the
Oh
race?
no, that is true.
He was like 12. He was behind Albon after like 5 laps.
Yeah, okay, fair. I mean, yeah, his qualifying was so good.
His qualifying was amazing, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he was behind his teammate after 5 laps.
Yeah, that's not good.
Where did he finish? He didn't finish. He
No.
got reversed into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on,
we
needs to
should
be out
probably
of the
talk.
way.
Should we talk
Yeah,
about
quickly
that?
about that. Daniel Ricciardo, what the hell was he doing?
I think it was his statement was that he was in a panic, and he just reversed the car.
Without looking in his mirrors.
Can I just say,
3-place penalty as well to finish.
I would predict that 99.9%, and I'd love to know in the comments if anyone thought it, as soon as you saw Danny Kvyat in the wall and Daniel Ricciardo,
Who was at fault?
who was at fault, what your first reaction was, I think everyone in their head will have gone, oh, what's Kvyat done?
Dive bomb
He's
from
dive
Kvyat, yeah.
bombed back. And
It's the other way.
I
other way
actually
around.
didn't.
Did you not?
I didn't assume the worst. I kind of saw it and went, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, I thought like, they must have just been battling and
Yeah.
they locked up.
Because of the way
I
they
was
ended
very
up.
much like-
Yeah, you were like,
Torpedo.
I was like, okay.
saw some
okay.
amazing flags this weekend of like Russian torpedo.
He
There's
is
so
very
many fans out
popular
here.
here.
Obviously, it's
Oh,
Russia,
yeah.
Russia, yeah. Okay, so Daniel Kvyat, I'm going to give a D.
Okay.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
D. Okay, Alex Albon. B.
It's so hard to judge. C?
Yeah. I
See?
think
He
I'm gonna
didn't
go
because
with
he didn't
C.
outqualify his teammate. I guess.
No, he didn't.
We should
Where did
probably
he finish?
again stress that
I'm just
this
gonna
is
keep up.
the weekend because we got not abuse, but last podcast we gave Albon a B because he smashed his car up in qualifying, even though he had an amazing race. And every comment on our Instagram post was like, "Why is Albon a B?" And it's like because he obliterated his car and made his mechanics fix his car, and he had to start from the pit lane.
Yeah, exactly. You have to take
You
everything
can't
into
give
account.
it an A.
I must apologise as well. Earlier I said it was a 2-stop race. I meant that Charles had to have a 2-stop because of the fastest lap. Anyway, moving on, because everyone did 1-stops pretty much.
Side note.
Yeah, I just looked at the pit stops and I was like,
Disclaimer.
that says 1. I was just... Sorry, comments. Right, moving on to next person who is, I've lost count, it is Alfa Romeo, Kimi Raikkonen. He finished in the points and started from the pit lane.
I think
10th he finished. That's an A.
B.
He didn't outqualify. Wow, he didn't
He
outqualify his
didn't
teammate.
qualify.
To be fair, he didn't...
He got
yeah.
disqualified from
And,
qualifying.
Yeah.
and he got beaten by Giovinazzi.
Yeah, he screwed his lap.
B. I'll allow B.
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 I mean, very well done. Though.
Antonio Giovinazzi.
Was he even there?
C. He didn't get points again,
He
did he?
finished 12th. What's he doing?
Yeah, come on, get a point.
That's a C. Yeah,
C.
although he had a great qualifying.
Yeah,
But C.
But C.
C+, but we're not giving pluses. Racing point. Sergio Perez. Solid A.
A star.
Ooh.
Get in the bin.
Why?
A
Tell me
stars.
anything that
A-stars
Sergio
are
Perez
A
did.
stars is for a Sergio Perez podium.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
A.
He
A.
literally did nothing wrong, and even better than some of the people we've given A for, though. Like, he overtook Verstappen at the start, which was impressive.
A.
And qualified so well. Yeah, I guess we've got nothing to... Can we do A double stars for if a midfield car
No,
does
A.
something? Okay,
Right,
fair,
Lance
A.
Stroll. Lance Stroll, I would say that's between an A and a B as well, I believe.
B.
No,
He had a terrible qualifying. B. McLaren, Carlos Sainz. I would say...
Double McLaren points finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7th and 8th.
Sainz was
beating
right up there,
Norris.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Um,
They
where
just
did
switched, didn't
Sainz
they?
qualified.
They just switched,
He
yeah.
got knocked out in
But he was quite low
Q2.
down, yeah. So he had a good fight back.
B.
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 Lando
He's across
Norris.
the board.
B.
Lando Norris
He-
B as well.
he
'cause
had
he
an
had
awesome
Solid race,
start.
awesome qualifying.
Yeah.
Didn't beat his teammate, but, you know.
B.
B.
How far was he behind his teammate? 17 seconds.
I think probably should shout
Actually,
out
no,
like,
C. Drew on my face.
all the rookies.
For
Yeah.
context,
Yeah, okay.
I was doing the autograph session. Lando Norris. I was interviewing Carlos, I think. Oh no, I can't remember who I was interviewing. And then Lando just swipes me across the face with a marker, like an actual black pen. That was great. Really happy. C. Haas.
So we're taking the whole weekend
Yeah.
into consideration,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
okay,
weekend
that's
into consideration. You graffitied my face.
Including personal interaction.
Yeah.
But what about his
That
race
overrides
rundown
everything.
performance?
Oh,
Does that prop him
yeah.
back
His
up to
IBR
B?
performance.
He was in
was-
IBR, so B.
A
He
star.
goes back up.
Yeah, A star because it wasn't a permanent marker.
Lando's roller coaster ratings.
People are going to berate us so much for
It's
this.
fine.
Let's
Yeah.
just put him back
Don't
to
take it
B.
seriously.
He gets a B.
B.
Come on.
B. Okay. Now we come on to Haas. Roman Grosjean.
Don't go on about that again.
D.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
D.
He's the only one that really made a mistake
He's
in the race.
killing my fantasy team, as is Ricardo. Jeez, I need to take them out. It's embarrassing. D.
D.
Yeah.
Kevin Magnussen.
Where did he finish?
13th.
13th.
Haas is so
Haas
anonymous.
did not
So
have.
slow.
They did well.
Haas is so anonymous in the races.
Gunter said that this track was not for the Haas.
But they haven't been. China, they were nowhere as
No.
well, weren't they? Australia, they were.
I really thought after the first race, it was like, okay, Haas could be like best of the rest
Again, yeah.
in qualifying, and then just
fallen off a cliff.
yeah.
Okay, so Kevin Magnussen, D.
D.
Yeah. Renault, Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh, F.
I just want to
Yeah.
say, Ricciardo just hasn't got it at the moment.
No.
I said it in IBR. He just doesn't know how to. He never used to. He never used to miss a dive bomb.
Yeah.
Ever. You wouldn't ever
I was-
see him.
I
Is
was
there something
actually-
wrong with the setup of his car?
Yeah,
Now,
it's
to
just
be
getting
honest,
used to
I
Renault.
think that the Red Bull, no doubt, was obviously he's incredibly talented, but I feel like the Red Bull, he was just so at one with that car. Like, no doubt that car was unbelievable on the brakes as well, and he's getting used to the Renault, and
That's
he's probably going for a dive bomb, expecting to brake as late as he did in a top car, and gone, oh, okay, straight on.
Because how often do you get to practice a dive bomb?
Yeah, exactly.
Never.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So,
He's just trying the water. He's licking stamps, but
I'm
not sending
like
them.
fair play for licking the stamp. But was it
Yeah,
the Baku account that said he didn't deliver?
yeah, and then reversed into Kvyat. That's a
Dreadful.
big
That's an
mistake. That is
E.
that is
That's an
There's not an
literally.
E. There's only F's.
E, A, B,
It's
C,
called
D,
A, B, C,
E,
D,
F,
E, F,
1.
one.
Only because
It sounds
For
good.
the
it
meme.
sounds good.
Okay, we're changing it
FM.
to A.
He
Yeah,
reversed
Really
into a
harsh,
Formula
mate.
1 driver.
And got a 3-place grid penalty.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
For the next
That's
race,
an
And DNF'd.
yeah,
Yeah, that's an F.
yeah, it's bad.
Oh, that hurts
Really
my
bad.
soul. I love you, Danny, mate, but that was dreadful.
Yeah,
Nico Hulkenberg.
He was nowhere too.
Renault
14th.
were awful.
Where are Renault?
Renault were really not.
Renault
They didn't turn up.
Renault should be best of the midfield. Like, I know that Daniel's gone there, and it's going to take a few years for them to be contenders. But if they're not even beating the midfield, when are they going to be champions in 3 years? Like they're saying they are. They're not, are they?
It's quite scary, actually.
Yeah.
I think Danny Rick, although thank you very much for the pay packet, but slightly
Yeah.
concerned, I imagine, on the performance so
Well,
far.
I think a lot. They've got a lot riding on the fact that it's going to change drastically, right? So I don't think we can say. I don't think we can comment. They knew this year was going to be a pain year. I think Daniel probably, I'm hoping in his head, has resigned it to being a pain year, and he's just got to last it. He's just got to stick it out until 2020.
Yeah.
One.
20, I was going to
2021.
2020.
I don't even know where I am right now.
Good,
so.
cool. Moving to the top three now. Red Bull, Max Verstappen.
Solid B.
What?
A. It's really hard to rate Max because again,
He's on his
just
own, isn't he?
he's just driven the Red Bull, which isn't quite there, but he's delivered in every single race this year.
Yeah.
He's not made any mistakes like he did last year.
Yeah.
He's trounced Gasly.
I mean, it's just starting to get again. Like today was very unlucky for Gasly.
Yeah.
But again, like when's his luck gonna change? Because everybody is still talking about the fact that he is nothing in comparison to Max.
Yeah, Gasly was a weird one. We'll get onto him shortly. But yeah, Verstappen.
A. It's hard to just
I
keep
feel
giving
like
him A's because you literally don't know how good that Red Bull is. It's because he's the only one delivering in it.
But then
really.
that should mean something.
yeah,
At least.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely, yeah. He's
And I feel like the Red Bull wasn't particularly good on the softs today, but on the
Yeah.
mediums, he was setting.
he did
fastest lap after
extremely well
fastest
to
lap.
be anywhere near Vettel,
Yeah, he was.
and he was only 2 or 3 seconds off, was he?
6 seconds.
Oh,
Fanboy.
Just
We'll give him a
passionate.
B. We'll give him a B.
I'm just passionate. About
Pierre Gasly. Now I know a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, Pierre's had a great race and blah 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 blah." But for me, okay, better, definitely better than what he has shown. But he hadn't pitted, was behind Verstappen. Obviously, he started from the pit lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he had come
Dead
through the
last
field.
as well. He was last of the guys that started in the pit lane too.
So he definitely showed good pace. He's in
Yeah.
a Red Bull, as you say with Bottas. He should be doing this. But I think they also said that he was comparable to Charles. So it's difficult. I don't know where because I don't know where
think
he would have come out.
Yeah,
He
it's
needs a
hard to
clean
know where he
weekend.
was.
He needs a clean weekend.
It's
Let's give him a
unlucky
C.
that he missed the Weybridge and.
And I
What
don't think
happened
that
with
was
that?
that wasn't. I don't
No,
think
that's
that
what I
was
mean.
his
It
fault.
wasn't his fault. So
It was
ruined his
the
week.
team. The team didn't notify him.
How many? It wasn't his fault. Like, what are Red Bull do? Are they just forgetting that Gasly exists and
I
being like,
don't know.
Maybe.
oh God, you should have gone in.
I think the biggest insult to injury though was the fact that he then pulled in for a pit stop instead of going to the Weybridge, and the FIA were just like, no,
Bye now.
bye now. So yeah, I don't think he can take the blame for that one.
Yeah, I give him a C because he's improved a
Just,
bit.
yeah, across the board, decent drive, but we just need a clean weekend to see from him.
We do.
Right, Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel.
C.
C.
Yeah.
Good.
He got a podium, but only because
Yeah.
everybody else fell away. Like,
Charles Leclerc.
oh God, I really don't know what to say about
D.
Charles.
D.
The
even
fact that he
maybe
got
even-
driver of the day
That
is
was
just freaking
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Even coming from me.
What?
Whoa.
He did not deserve driver of the day. Not even close.
Are you feeling okay?
No, I'm going to be sick saying this.
It is ridiculous though. I was actually like, what race is everyone watching?
Yeah.
Is it literally just a popularity contest? It's like when Verstappen was winning driver of
when
the day
he
all the time.
DNF'd from America.
Yeah, and it became a bit of a
Yeah.
became a bit of a meme that like Verstappen would always win driver
Yeah.
of the day. Is it going to get to the point where Leclerc gets that because
I don't
everyone's
get it.
just like, oh, he's such a nice guy. He binned it in the wall and was all right in the race. Like he had unbelievable pace at the start, but then
Yeah.
it was like, oh, actually that's just because that tire is so
It was
much
really good.
better.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't bad at the end. It just that tire wasn't very good.
Tyre was dreadful.
Yeah.
I feel like he must have been carrying an issue because he literally just fell off a cliff.
That tire was terrible.
Yeah, like
The
he did a
pace,
qualifying
yeah.
lap, which I didn't think beat the Mercedes by much, and he had a fresh soft to do a qualifying lap, and he did a 43 flat with like hardly any fuel. Anyway, Charles D. Oh,
Yeah.
I think D's a bit harsh.
No,
for a
I
weekend.
don't. He smashed his car up in qualifying.
yeah.
Right?
I think taking the whole race weekend into
Yeah.
account, it makes me feel very.
you can't. You have to give him worse than Vettel. A lot. Well,
Yeah.
I'd say a lot worse than
Yeah,
Vettel
'cause
because
Vettel-
he's literally ruined his
Yeah,
race.
Alright.
let's go with D.
Okay.
Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, B.
B.
Yeah, he was quick.
Yeah.
Lost it in qualifying. That's it. Like if Hamilton gets pole, he's won all of these races. I think it could be purely because it's pretty much
Well,
decided
this is
into turn one.
This is the first race that's been won from pole.
Yeah.
This season.
Yeah. That's weird.
It's true, but sorry, leading into turn one. Whoever's
Right,
leading
yeah,
into
yeah.
turn one,
Yeah.
it's game over pretty much. It seems that way. Although Hamilton got very close towards the end, which kind of got exciting.
was
Maybe
exciting.
Can we
It
have
was
3 or
getting
4
tense.
more laps, please?
I didn't actually mention. Did you hear that? Because George Russell was right at the end, and
Yeah.
unfortunately Bottas got not
You say he's
unfortunately.
going to take him for a beer.
You wanted to say like I'm going to take Russell for a beer because he got DRS.
That
gave him
helps a lot.
And if he hadn't have got DRS on that straight, Hamilton,
And Hamilton
would have
hadn't
been
have gone
close.
wide.
Yeah,
What
could have
turn?
been very
Can't
close.
remember what
The
turn
final
it was.
turn,
17
like,
or 18,
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
is. Yeah, before the slingshot. So yeah, Hamilton B, and finally Valtteri Bottas. We have to
A.
give him an A. As
I was thinking.
So
A.
you know how much you hated giving Charles a D.
Yeah,
I'm
Is
like,
it not? Is it not A star though?
No,
pole in
Beat
the win.
Hamilton in pole. One of like again
okay.
like
Led every
All
race.
the
right.
best.
Led
Okay.
every.
All right, A star. Let's move on.
Literally
A star for Valtteri Bottas.
beat Hamilton in qualifying.
No, we didn't get fastest lap. A.
Yeah, but he only didn't get fastest
No,
lap
come
because
on,
of.
come on, Matty.
A star.
It's
It's got to be an A star. He got his
Valtteri
elbows
Bottas is
out.
going to win the
Fair
World
play.
Drivers' Championship.
I am going to punch you.
Please don't. Right, let's move on. We've been nattering on for a long time.
We
We are really
have.
tired. Predictions for Baku. So Tommy said Sainz will finish ahead of Gasly on pure pace.
Half a point.
Oh yeah.
Ricardo will say, well done, Baku, in an interview. Multiple points.
He said it in
He
the
said
autograph
it.
session.
Yeah.
We were chatting, and you're like, "Oh, what should I ask him?" And I was like, "You need to get him to say well done, Baku." So it was like, "What 3 words would you?" But you literally went, "Hi," and he was like, "Well done, Baku."
Yeah. I was like,
Straight
Thanks,
away.
Danny. So yeah, multiple points for you, Tommy.
Yes.
Dan said, we will see a car upside down at some point over the weekend. No. Hulkenberg will crash out for a 3rd year in a row. No. Jess, there will be more than 2 safety cars.
Definitely
No,
not.
there wasn't a sniff of wow. We had a VSC. More safety car shenanigans. No, we had a VSC. Actually, no, we're not going to have our point. More safety car shenanigans. Something strange will happen under the safety car.
Yeah.
What was
As
that
in, like,
referring to?
Under the safety car scenario.
I
something
took that
strange
so
will
literally.
happen.
I was like, what's
Something
gonna happen
strange
under the-
happened under the red flag in free practice
That's
1.
not a safety car.
Quarter of
No.
a point.
No, guys, let's no.
Fans, ZP Scissors. Red flag because someone crashes in the castle section and completely blocks it. 1 point.
Happened twice.
Half a point.
Happened
What did you say in the
twice.
race? Or?
No,
No.
it says red flag.
Yeah.
It happened
Correct.
twice.
2 points.
Borvanegic 1. A non-top 3 team will score a podium. No.
No.
Susie _97. Ferrari team orders round 4. Close.
Yes.
Half.
No, not
Didn't
half.
Charles let Vettel through at one point?
No.
He did.
Yeah,
No.
he did. He eased off because we were
He
like,
did. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
Correct.
half-
That's
No,
full,
full
it's
point.
full point. He, had
Full
to, he
point.
literally, do you remember
Yeah.
you went, how much time do you want to lose into that
yeah,
corner?
because he just
Oh,
backed off. Yeah, he
yeah.
did.
Full
Yeah.
point. Well, predictions for Spain. Tommy. The best of the rest.
Verstappen-
Will
Oh, sorry.
be- best of the rest.
Best of the rest will
be
get lapped.
Good.
The gap's going to be so big in Spain
Yeah.
between the top three
Yeah.
teams and the midfield.
Yeah, and
Verstappen will beat
finish.
the Ferraris.
Beat the
Is that
Ferraris.
right?
Correct. Are you getting a vibe of like how delirious we are? Because
No one's probably listening
I
anymore.
can't remember.
people, they're loving it. They're seeing the real us. Jess.
Bottas will not shave the beard.
As in literally.
I just realised
clarify
because
that?
I realised like there are multiple body parts that he might not shave.
Oh no.
So
When
I
would
just
we
wanted
see
to-
any of those other body parts, Jess?
Maybe he shaves his legs for aerodynamics. I don't know.
To be fair, that's every 0.001
By
of a
not
second.
shaved, as in like literally won't shave
Eh?
from now till the race, so he'll have like full on homeless beard.
I think we said it's like Samson. His power is in his beard. So the longer his beard is, maybe the better he
He's
drives.
gonna turn up looking like the rich energy guy. To,
by the
Sorry
end of the
today.
season,
Yeah.
that's what he'll be
Yeah.
like.
It's
weird
by the
seeing
end of the
him
when he
season.
when he wins the title, he'll be on the
Podium
World
with a
Drivers
massive
Championship with a-
Gandalf beard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. And the other one? Ricardo. Top. For your listeners, I just mouthed.
Ricardo will finish in the top 10 even though he's got a grid place penalty, which
Ooh.
is very, very optimistic.
He's going
I
to do some
think,
dive bombs.
because Spain is horrific
Horrendous
for overtaking.
Absolutely.
But, you know, we can all dream.
Pray.
We can dream.
To be fair, Baku was supposed to be amazing and it was a bit bland. This
Maybe this could be
Spain
it.
supposed to be bland. Be amazing.
We hated it last year. We asked for it to be taken off the entire
Yes,
circuit,
we
Calendar.
circuit
did.
calendar.
The entire circuit.
What?
Take off the circuit.
Take off the circuit. Just have the grass. Just race around.
I mean, that would be. I mean, no, it would be awful.
it would be incredible.
Okay, my two was R. Boring. Wow.
Right, we're
that
almost there,
nearly
guys.
ended.
We're almost there.
Me, boring one stop. It's going to be an absolute snooze fest. And both Renaults won't make Q3, which looks very likely from their Baku.
And grid place
performance.
penalty.
Yes, and grid place penalty. Fans, Daniel Lofthouse, Giovinazzi actually gets points at the Spanish Grand Prix. I like the
Giovinazzi.
actually part of it.
Actually gets
Savage.
points.
Dark Shines Kek. Oh my god, it's like the top cake from like the cake we have here. We have a thing called top cake, which we've eaten the entire week. Anyway,
Had the same lunch and dinner every single day.
and it's been glorious. Haas will be the best of the rest. And finally, everyone Mercedes 1-2.
Literally
people.
every
fan,
comment.
Yeah, every fan.
The fact
said
that it's
Mercedes won
Spain next as well, which is like their
too. Suited
track.
for them, unless they take each other out.
Everyone can hope because that's the only way we're getting any kind of championship battle right
Competitive,
now.
yeah,
Sorry, Mercedes.
yeah.
And
So
actually, I won't be at the race, so Charles will win. That's just the way it is, isn't it,
Probably.
really?
Yeah.
Both times I've gone to a race this
This
season,
is.
he could have won.
Am I right in saying this is where Charles was born?
What?
The whole Charles thing.
I was going to say, Charles is
Charles-
not from Azerbaijan.
Is he not?
No, yes, this was.
This is where, yeah, when he
this-
got the
literally
points.
this
when he
room.
finished sixth.
Last. What was
This
that explosion?
room conceived your love for Charles
Yeah,
Leclerc.
this was the race where he did well, and the whole Charles meme.
And now look at us, a year later he's in the wall and I'm crying. So brilliant. Let's wrap this up before we say anything else we regret. So thank you so much for watching this Azerbaijan GP WTF1 podcast. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Tommy and Jess.
No problem.
We need
You're
sleep.
We
And
do.
we're getting up at 4:30, 4 a.m. You're probably up at 2 a.m. making sure that
I'm
your
just not
alarm
gonna go
goes
to
off.
bed.
We've got a
No.
fly at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So
It's
that'll be
5
fun.
hours.
5 hours from now.
It's 11. Yeah, it's 11.
It's
11
PM.
p.m.
Fantastic. Right. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one, the Spanish Grand Prix podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Jason, you're right, mate.
5 hours.
Yeah.